Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Reynaldo Schelmetty. You guys can call me Reynamations, and I'm here to make a drawing video. I usually do this every day, but I've been cutting back on it ever since I got a job, and then afterwards, after I got out of having a job, I just been doing some other things like animating, relaxing, cleaning around the house more, focusing on life at the house. It changes up the way that you see things, and I'll help out my mom and stuff once in a while. Luckily, the stream so far is going good. Thank you for joining me. I'm not sure who the one current viewer is, but thank you for joining me. Maybe it's me, maybe it's not. I don't know how YouTube really works. Yeah. Let's just get right into drawing. I like drawing faces, so I'm gonna draw a bunch of faces. And maybe if you guys leave a comment of what you might want to see, maybe an anime character or something like that, or posters. Maybe flowers, draw some eggs, maybe anything else. I don't know. Error due to receiving enough video for me. Back to being poor. I mean, seems like every single time I stream, it does this sort of error. I'm trying to do at least one decent stream where it doesn't have an error. Streaming. At least it looks like the stream is going fine, even though it's saying poor. It looks like it's fine. Tell me if it's poor for you guys. Just leave it down in the comments. I can see it right now. I think it should be updating live. So this is just live chat. I'm also chewing gum, if you notice that. Usually I don't chew gum, but this time around I chose to chew gum. Let's do something Christmas themed. Since it's Christmas, maybe a Christmas hat on a character. What sort of character can we do? I like One Piece. Maybe we do some One Piece characters. Let's see, I'll start off with like a head, really rough. And you may be thinking, wow, that was a really nicely done shape. No, it's not. That was just me, thinking around. Maybe the head is kind of tilted this side. We draw the rough sometimes before we draw everything else. So, alright. Want the nose to be lower. Maybe it's more like that. What sort of eyes can I do? I know Luffy's are more like that sometimes. And he has like the mark right here. That he made himself. Spoiler alert to anybody that hasn't seen the movie. One of the One Piece movies, I think it was, I saw. Because I always wondered, how did Luffy get that scar? And it was because he wanted to be a pirate so much that to impress Shanks and his crew, he actually did that to his face. And Shanks was not very happy, but he was kind of impressed. Because usually you wouldn't think of doing self-harm to yourself to make a point, but he did, and it was seen as impressive. For me, I thought it was kind of silly, but still, like, he did harm to himself. Maybe he has the hockey eyes, like when he stares at you like that. And now I noticed this with Luffy. His eyebrows are actually very thin, so there's gonna be that, and that's it. And obviously cut out some of the edges right here. Usually for anime characters, they don't highlight the edges here. I'm not sure if Luffy's does. I don't think it does. And I do like a subtlety, subtle, so it gives the illusion that that's there, but it's not. Maybe like that. No, the ear. If the hat usually goes above, so think about it like if it was doing this, it's wrapping around, right? Yeah, but it usually goes above this. This area is gonna be all hair. I'm trying to do it very rough. I like this texture brush. Sometimes it doesn't work exactly for the drawings that I'm doing, but it works very well for rough sketching. You could try it out. I don't have it. I didn't make it myself, but it's something that you can try out if you download Sketchbook Pro and then you're trying to do some rough drawings yourself. And best thing to do sometimes would be, you know, to try out some of the brushes. And for me, I just went here, right? Oh, there, to this thing, right? And then usually when you first get the application, it has a thing in the bottom that tells you to download some. And if you can't get that, then you go to Windows. I think it's called a Copic library, maybe? No, is it Copic? No, it's not Copic library. Copic library is good, but that's not Copic library. Sketchbook Extra, maybe. Yeah, Sketchbook Extras is, and then you could just see some of the extra ones, and some of them are really good. What I have is the Inktober one. I think it's this one. Not 100% sure. And you see, the more and more it loads, then the more and more you get some really nice brushes. Some of them are really well used, some of them are not. And I know mine is supposed to be for Inktober. I don't think it's for Inktober 2020, but I did make an Inktober 2020 brush. Let's see, this one, you see. But it normally just said Inktober. And then, you see, like that, and it had the Sketchbook Pro logo and stuff like that. So you can take a look at them. Maybe you just find some that are more to your liking, like this one right here. Might be really nice textures. I don't know. That's how I get some of the really cool drawing brushes, like this one, clouds and water. Water's really nice. I use water all the time. Anyways, let's get back to drawing Luffy. So the hat will essentially be going like this because his head is tilted, right? So if the head is tilted and it's following this line, right, it goes like up to here, right? So let's say that it does that. It arcs down, kind of like if he has like some sort of comb. Maybe it won't go like that. Maybe it goes wider. And voila. Now we got something that looks or resembles a hat. Maybe not exactly like a hat. You know. And then round it up a little sometimes. I like to round it up, but in the show it's not very rounded up. And then I think it has like this little thing right here, right? So now we have Luffy. And if we figure out the proportions a little bit better, right? And we could get him to look more like Luffy. If I'm correct, his head, and he has a big forehead, right? So let's say big forehead, right? Then the nose will be somewhere here, and then the mouth will be somewhere here. Meaning that the chin should be somewhere here. And the ears will be here. I'm doing like a very simple circle. Sometimes it's not, you know. So we want a Christmas edition. Maybe he has a scarf on, and like for the scarf, I'm just gonna do like really simple folds, like that. Have it be tied back to the middle. Maybe here it does like this giant fold area where it kind of goes and overlaps it and comes out. And yeah, it's coming out really nice. If anybody recognizes him, then that's awesome. And you're a One Piece fan, right? Like I am. And you know, then we got his shoulders right here. Maybe he's wearing some very bulky, like Nami's jacket or something like that. Remember that episode where what's it called? He went and then had Nami's jacket to get to get where Chopper was, to find the doctor on top of the cliff. Okay. Now we have that. Maybe I feel like he needs the neck right here. So we can tell that his neck is right there. Right. If you make that sharper. And not too puffy right there. Scarf is not necessarily very puffy. Ooh, yeah, that looks really nice. What else? Indicate this like the hat that he normally wears. Make sure that he has hair right here. Indicate that by covering all this in dark, shading it all dark, right? Not doing this very rough, right? So it indicates hair. It doesn't look really dark or anything like that. And I take away this rough lines, right? I don't think this area is gonna be dark, right? Because this thing is red, right? This right here, it's not. Doesn't have to be dark. Okay. Now that looks really nice. Yeah. It's kind of fitting it really nicely. Let's see. Seems like the connection is very poor still, but you guys are seeing the picture right now. It was supposed to be a 15-minute drawing, and I think I've probably gone over that 15-minute thing at time limit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spend 15 minutes to color up this drawing right here, but make it bigger because I don't like the egg, but I like the One Piece one. It's not very detailed, but I like it. So what I'm gonna do is simply just take this, like that, backspace, take this, and then scale it, and rotate it maybe, and then move it into the position I want it to be. You'll have it right there, slightly to the side, maybe like that. But he looks too serious. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to the pen, make sure that I have everything. Get to eraser. Erase some of the eyes. I kind of like the eyes. They're being kind of normal. Right. So his eyes normally look no. If we were to go with like perspective and everything, his eyes generally would be kind of like that. Or balanced out. Not this one. This one looks off kilter. Yeah. I don't like that. I kind of like the better one. Yeah. Circle. Little circle looks fine. Cause you can't really tell whether it's off kilter or anything. Maybe you won't look so. No, the eyebrows could look a little bit more accurate. Jacket or sweater, whatever you want to call it, right? sure this area looks more bulky. And then this one, it looks like it's going down a little bit more. And voila, it looks really nice. Alright. I'm not sure. It's like stuck for you guys, so you guys can't really see the progress into it. Unglitches. It unglitches. And my voice sounded like a glitch right there, but it wasn't me. It was me, but it was not. It was not that. It was like a technical error right there. Alright. Yeah, that looks nice. Maybe be more in line with the way that the hat goes. Just a little bit of that. Make that hat go in. Ooh, yeah, that looks a lot more friendly. Maybe his eyes are not that far open, like this. That looks weird. Make sure it looks round. Not too round because we don't want it to look too round, but we want it to look more. Well, I mean like me. I don't want it to look too round, but sometimes it does come out very round. Now Luffy's coming out really nicely. And he would say something like, "Merry Christmas." And also, I want to have like the One Piece flag in the back. I'm gonna do the mirroring tool. This one, and this one right here. Right. Oh, it seems like it just loaded up for a brief moment for you guys. It said no data, but then it reloaded whatever I had on the screen like a couple seconds ago, and now it's like struggling. So the One Piece flag is basically a circle, right? The best thing we could do is grab the circle tool, make it look as round as possible, right? Right there. In the center, right? Go to the mirroring tool, right? Make sure we can see all the options. Lock it. Then we adjust the circle, right? Do the scale. Zoom in. Make sure that's perfectly aligned in the center. And yeah, that's close enough, right? And we just do the circle, right? That's good enough, right? And now the mirroring stays. Mirroring stays, circle thing leaves. So now I need to look up the One Piece logo. I think I have it on my computer. Let me check really quickly. So pretty sure it's in the back. Okay. I'm back. So it's supposed to look like that. And then behind it, will be having like this bone, so it'll be going across. Maybe I'll have it be not that, and I'll have it be like this. You see, does it work? Yeah. Kind of. I'm pretty sure the bones don't intersect right in the middle, do they? Kind of. Alright, so let's pretend that they don't fully intersect in the middle. So they'll have like this much of spacing, right? And then this one right there. And the other spacing. If they had an X right there. And then right here, should the bones look kind of thin? Right? Trying to figure it out as I go. Making sure it's in a separate layer than the original area. Right, and then right here, like let's say that we do a circle, right? And we do another circle right here. And do another circle right there, right? Boom, be essentially like this. And this area right there. And then you erase this. erase all this area right here because we don't really need all that. Alright, look at that. That looks really nice. Perfect. I'll take out the mirroring. I'll erase some of the areas that probably obviously overlap it. Make sure it doesn't all overlap it. It doesn't look correct. Maybe it needed to be twisted up a little, but it's okay. What else? It has a mirror tool. Goes for this, and then circles. Make sure these circles look like circles. So circle. Let's get it down this time around. About that big. Bring it about like there. Okay. And that takes care of the eyes. The nose will be somewhere here, right? Like, let's say that the nose is small. Check it again. It will be a tiny circle right in the center. So, about like that big, right? Centered out as well as possible. And just make that tiny circle. Doesn't matter if it's not accurate. I'm not trying to be accurate with it. Let's see. Keeping that symmetrized on, right? Okay, making sure I merge this too, because at this point, pretty much can't get merged. And then right here, it will be split into two rows. This would be like that, and then that, and then teeth. First things first, right in the center, there's usually like a little gap. Teeth right there, teeth right there, and teeth right there. That'll be where the gums is at, but I don't think it had gums. It does not. And this area right here looks bigger. It looks more like it takes up about like that much of the teeth area. And then this teeth from the bottom and the top would be about like that high. And then there's this teeth right here. Like that. And making sure I go over all of this again, so it looks darker. And now I'm gonna select everything within a certain area. This, right? Now, let me do the selection first. So it'll be first I'll do it. The selection right here. But shit, I'm making sure everything that I want is selected. And that. I noticed something. It's not really centered. But what I'm gonna do is rotate it so it looks more line. That looks much more accurate, right? Clean it up a little. That looks more like the One Piece logo, right? And then we put the Luffy right there. What we can do is do very simple coloring right above the Luffy, right above this Luffy layer, right? This is gonna be for the coloring for the One Piece logo. It's gonna have like a very bright coloring like that, and then we're gonna pick a brush that I know for a fact won't let the color go completely through. What I'm doing is select the coloring and think about it. I don't care too much if I go over the lines. It's not gonna be ever. Oh man, I just realized this portion was supposed to be timed. And the coloring portion was supposed to be timed. So let's exit out of that. Let's do the timing, right? Which is just press here and then timing. Live streaming the timing. So press time, and then I'm just gonna quickly select all this right now. Not perfect, has to get put in right. The bones. I'm doing the bones separately. Its own layer. And the reason why I'm doing that is because of the fact that you know, I can do everything else separately. So just bones as a result. Alright. So now I'm gonna take the paint bucket tool, make sure and double click on everything, right? Double click, double click. Alright, so now all the bones are filled. What I could easily do is bring it slightly lower and just you know, do that type of fill, right? Make sure I layer lock it, and you know, I start layer locking. I just do this, and then I just wait. Why is it doing that sort of selection? Weird. That. Make sure it is not visible. I don't know why it's not selecting it correctly, but make sure to select everything correctly. Looks like one of the bones worked not very well. Almost. Alright. That takes care of all the coloring, right? Well, all the main color, right? So now I take this in right here, and I do that. But I do it separately, right? Okay, I do that, and I bring it up. But I want to make sure that the inside looks darker, right? As a result, I'll turn it darker, but I'll make sure it's yellowish. And then this one, I'll turn it right, it's yellowish. And here, I'll turn it average, and yellowish. Yeah, that's okay. Now it looks fine. If anything, it could just some refining, but I'll be fine with that. That result that I got. I don't know why it's not blending that very well. Maybe I'll just go to the blend tool that I have up here, and I just like blend that in. Don't know why I didn't select it all correctly. Now make sure everything else looks fine. Blend it in, and then turn down the opacity. Maybe have a darken layer on it, or a color burn. Color burn looks nice, right? Yeah, color burn. And then I just merge it. and take a look at it. Boom. Really simple. Now let's do the main logo portion. I want to have certain areas to be really dark, certain areas to not be very dark. So for dark, I'll go with that dark. Maybe go to the pen, go a layer above it, you know. Make sure I have the right tip pen. That pen works. Alright, what else will work very well? Maybe this. I'm just coloring all of this, right? Although technically I'm not adding color, I'm darkening up certain areas, right? So, and then this, right? Now what I'm going to be doing is turning down the opacity so I can erase it properly. And because it's mirrored, this will be very simple. And then under it, right, we're going to have all of this area be very bright white, so something like almost like that. It's like a gray, but not completely white gray. So I'm not trying to be perfectionist on it. There, that's good enough. And then I just fill it in like this. Double click. Make sure to always double click, because if you don't double click, what happens is that it doesn't really get the in between little pixels. So now that it's double clicked and then everything looks fine. I could go into more shading of it, but I don't feel like doing that. Maybe turn down the opacity on this and erase some of it right here. And then I take the circles one, make it big, make sure you put it somewhere centered. And kind of like if I'm going all the way around, scale it to a decent size, maybe like that, maybe a little bit bigger. Let's about that one. That works. And this time around, I'm gonna go for this paintbrush and then do a little bit darker than what that. That's right. And then just pass it around like this. Alright. Yeah, I did it in the wrong layer. I think it was supposed to be this one. Right. I'm using the eraser, that's why. Alright, now if I get out of that, and I get take care of that, let's see that. That looks nice. Maybe go here, go to the blend tool that I have right here, and then just blend that in a little. And make sure to lock it so blending doesn't escape. I don't know why it doesn't want to select it correctly, but yeah. Now that works. Make sure I have the rough outline. And then this rough outline is gonna have a, I think it was like linear burn layer or color dodge maybe? Well, color dodge looks nice. I can make the background darker like this. Ooh, that looks really nice. We got like half our time, almost half our time left. So I'm gonna use that time for coloring up Luffy, which is supposed to be above it all, right? Like that. Now Luffy's gonna have like very simplistic color. I'm not gonna do all the rough lining all over again. And yeah, let's just get started. there on the Luffy. Make sure to have some sort of color picked out, and the bright brushes that you want. I do like this really rough textury brush maybe. No, I want something bigger. Shock maybe? Oh yeah, this will work. It's like a soft feeling. Kinda like that. It's like shock pastels. Now I'm just coloring it on, right? Difference between this and shock pastels. Major differences, right? Now do the face, the ears. Is that alright? And I don't like this. Maybe it has to be overlaid on top of one another for it to work. Very simple. Coloring. Boom. I like the fact that it was big enough that it colored it up pretty quickly. That I definitely did like. Alright. Let's go for a very bright color. I'll go for this almost skin tone. And use my regular brush. I'm doing all the coloring for him in one layer. Which is not very smart, just letting you guys know. I'm trying to do it as fast as possible, so I'm kind of ignoring most of the basic rules of this sort of thing. Determining the color, whether I like it, whether I don't. As I go, I'll go for that one. I think the skin tone's a little bit off. Maybe I could go for something that's much brighter. Maybe go for this skin tone. Yeah, that looks a lot much better. So just this is highlight, right? I get the light sitting in from up here. Okay, that looks nice. Maybe the ears kind of covered. There's some of this. What else? Make it really dark. It's dark brown right here. Cover up all the hair. I'm just selecting colors, making sure everything is nice. There you go for a very bright color right there, and then now we can tell who he is already, so you don't really need to do anything else. I'm doing a very basic highlighting technique. And obviously the hat will be underneath our entire body, so it'll be a very almost skin tone color, but not fully skin tone. I'm trying to do this as rough as possible, but fast too. Yeah, we also gotta focus on the fact that he still needs have what's it called? The red on the thing. I think his hat is the wrong color. Maybe it needs to be more yellow. Yeah, yellowish. More towards like that. Yeah, that feels a lot more natural. I'm not really paying attention whether I go too much outside sometimes. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And pay too much attention to it, like in the sense of me caring whether I go outside or not. Oh, that's a nice red color. Okay, that looks nice. Maybe you go for some really bright highlights on the hat, like that. And go for some really dark shadows down here. Because, you know, everything here has to have some sort of... No thanks. And that's the timer, just letting you guys know. So that's pretty much what we got done. Maybe I'll do some like really rough coloring right here for the skin tone, make it even darker. And skin tone will be right there, that layer, and then I'll do that. Like that. That looks nice, and that gives us some depth. Maybe do some fading from one shade to the other by blurring it out. On the lighting, it makes it look softer, even though sharp is soft. At the same time, go for a really purple, then it's red. Also make sure that I click on this, make it darker, maybe bring it over to that area, and then what we're gonna do is really quickly airbrush it. Airbrush now with the shadow there. Now the airbrush, I'm doing this airbrush for this, but I need color for the scarf because I don't like the color, the coloring that it has on the scarf right now. Maybe the scarf would be, let's go for Christmas color, maybe a green scarf. And green scarf, I'll make it sharp green. And that. See how that looks. I think it's coming out really nice. Green scarf. That green scarf works. And because it was supposed to be, since it's holiday themed, I'm gonna have him say something like Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. Since it's Japanese, since it's technically a Japanese character, right? Luffy, right? I'd say something in Japanese, but I don't know any Japanese, so that wouldn't really work out for me. Add some color to that, like that. Lights, dark, make it darker in certain areas, kind of like this. Alright, now do the same thing with the red, make it even darker, right? And just do very rough shadows. Because you know, you gotta have hard shadows and soft shadows. Hard shadows are determined by objects lying on top of it, and then soft shadows are like its natural shadows sometimes. You gotta keep in mind all of that sort of thing. Ooh, that looks really nice. It looks like Luffy because I've done Luffy enough times to know how he looks. And now I'm gonna do a bonus. I'm gonna do this thing where I go onto this the bones, right? And I'm gonna add some sort of texture to it by going into this one, Jason's Free Fantasy Set. All right, you could select any of them, right? And then I'll just go for a brownish, right? And then I'll just the bones, right? Now that looks fine, but I'm thinking I could go for bigger, right? That looks nice. but it doesn't look correct. Maybe you go for a darker, like grayish, more yellowish tone. Ooh, yeah, that looks nice. And for the head thing too, go for the same sort of effect. Make sure to lock it. No, but this one should be very bright. Right. Ooh, yeah, that looks nice. And I like to do the extra bonus that I was gonna do, right? So the bonus will be underneath everything, and it'll be very dark blue, right? And then I do that, right? Very nice texture-y look. Because I like to add textures. Textures look nice on things. And I'll do this sort of effect, right? No, not that sort of effect. Why did it do that? Ooh, yeah, that looks a lot better. And then make it brighter. Make it more brighter in distance. Afterwards, you can turn down the opacity, and it'll just fade into the background. Or you can have it very sharp. And then what it does, it makes everything else look like it's standing out, right? You can duplicate this layer, maybe have that be there. And if this was a different software, I would have all these bones have like an outline, like I would do if I was using, for example, what's it called, Krita. I will have it have an outline. But this time around, I won't. What else? Maybe have some very bright light coming from a different direction. Sometimes what you can do is take this, right, and rotate it, right? Texture. See how it looks. Scale it up, maybe move it around. Rotate it. And then you can do some effects like, for example, glow, which makes it look brighter. Maybe soft glow, a color dodge, multiply. Multiply looks nice. And the best thing is that I can change up the background whatever I want, right? And depending on what I choose, it could fit the theme of what I want. Maybe I want it to look like it was against some sort of rock, so I do that sort of color. And maybe darker or much more gray, very dark. This actually looks nice. This dark gray. So I'm gonna keep this, and I'm just gonna call it a day. Maybe put a picture frame on it. So for a picture frame, you go all the way into the toppest of the layer above it. I'm gonna add 2 layers, right? First layer, I'm gonna do the picture frame, and the second layer is for signature and all that sort of stuff. So select everything, right? Then go to deselection, which is this one, and then select about as thick as you want. Maybe I want like a very thick picture frame, so it'll be like probably up to there, right? And then I do that, and then I just see how big do I want all the blocks, all the wood pieces to be, right? I want it to be about that big. So what I could do is I'm gonna take this, fill it in, and fill it in any color I want. I'm gonna go for dark, so I'm gonna do that. That picture frame looks nice already. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna deselect it, everything, right? And layer lock it. What I'm gonna do from here is select certain areas. Maybe I want certain things to be standing out. Like if I want this right here to be all the way to there, right? And then this one to be the same thing, going that way. Maybe not exactly like that, because then this one's different colors, right? Slightly different colors. Maybe this one's will be brighter or something, right? Cool. Now it looks like they have picture frames, right? And then you can take this, duplicate it, maybe change it, change up the whole entire color, maybe make it brown or something, right? And brown in the brighter side of things, right? And just fill in everything like that. Have this be a color layer or something, right? And then duplicate it again, right? And like normally I don't do this sort of thing where I duplicate it and do all this other techniques, but this time around I thought maybe I'll change it up and not have this one be color. I'll have this one be darkened, and you add texture to it. And you want things to be going in the right direction. So what you would do is maybe you have it be multiply instead of darken, which looks nice. But maybe it's green, maybe like that. Ooh, that looks nice. Maybe that. Ooh, yeah, that looks even nicer. And then what I'm gonna do is essentially go here, right, and then select things other color, right? So it's gonna select that, and it's gonna select that, right? And then what I do is I go here and I press backspace. Right. Now we have all the textures for those. I don't have the textures for the other ones. Right. So I'm gonna select this one's so I have to deselect everything out and then go back another layer. And then this time around I'm gonna do another texture. This texture is only gonna be applied to this one's, right? It's gonna be like that, maybe be very rough greeny texture or something like that. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But you can kind of see there's different picture for different blocks. And the best thing about this technique is that you can take it, layer lock it, right, and then just do very rough shadow right there. There. So you can do like a very rough shadow right there, very soft shadow. Very subtle, right? And then here, up here also. And then when you get out of that, it's very subtle right here, and it's very subtle there. But because of that difference, you can it stands out. So this one, I'm gonna layer lock it, and I have to do like a really soft shadow right there and there. And you can do a very bright thing right here. Where you duplicate this, right? And then you have it for shift, go over it like that. Maybe a different brush. Go with this one. That looks nice. Same thing here. This turn down the opacity. Maybe have it be screen, or have any apply different effects to see what works best. That looks really nice. I'm gonna do that same effect but going the opposite direction during this through this one. So it's really simple. Just you basically have everything selected, right? Duplicate it. I was kind of skeptical at first, but no, instead of duplicating it, you're gonna go here. You're gonna select the right ones, right? Which is this one and this one, right? And it goes here, and then you duplicate it, right? Now that we have everything selected, you go back to the brush and then just pass it really quick with the mouse. I say the mouse because what happens is like if you pass it with the stylus, it's gonna come out different sizes. So I do the mouse. It's easy. And then try different ones. Multiply, color burn, lightenberg, lightenberg screen maybe. Soft glow. Turn down the opacity maybe. It's not too noticeable. It does do some sort of difference. Overlay maybe. Overlay looks nice. Okay, maybe turn down the opacity about like that. And that looks really cool. It went from a very holiday-ish theme to a much more pirate-ish theme. And this live stream has been about for almost an hour, so I'm gonna cut it pretty quickly. It's gonna say something like Merry Christmas and like the character, and yeah. Now for the picture frame, is you could just take everything and just merge it. But you gotta be careful because sometimes it does everything weird. So I'm gonna do it is select everything, group by layer, right? And then afterwards, yeah, make this, and then merge group, right? And it obviously puts everything together, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. Now, if you didn't want to do that, and you just want to have certain things, like the option to change things around, you just bring this lower, right? And it will still do the same thing. You could just go here, merge group, and voila. It will still do almost the same effect, slight difference, you know, but you know, not too big of a deal. I wanted to change the background color, make it darker red, make it bright blue, or purple. Yeah. Maybe have it like a dark blue. And if I wanted to do the same thing with this, I could just go here, image, adjust, color balance, right? And then you go, let's say I want it more blue, so I go to the blue area, and then voila. I don't like it too blue, so maybe something like that. Maybe add a little bit of magenta. And yeah, that looks more frosty ice wise. Maybe something very blue. Like that doesn't look bad. Kind of throws away for the I want like a merging point between the background and his jacket. I'm gonna do that. That looks fun. And another technique that you could do is you take this, duplicate it, right? And then you're just gonna scale it down, right? Scale it down about like that much or something, right? And then you take, like, for example, blur tool, right? And you just blur out all the edges. Maybe make it tougher, so not as strong. The strength, bring it up like really high, and then I'm trying to see how high can the strength really go, and afterwards just blend it out, but make sure it's not layer locked, so you blend it out like that, right? And then you duplicate it, right? Merge it down somewhere else, and then have it be a darkened layer, right? And it's subtle, but it does a really cool effect to where it makes this frame look like it's above it a little bit more. So if you change the background color, for example, to a much more brighter version of itself, right? Which essentially right now is at this point, right? So if I was to go from there to, for example, that looks a lot much more better. A lot better. I mean, make the eyes darker and that. Okay. Now let's have him say what he was supposed to be saying. I'm gonna duplicate this, make sure it moves it down, so then the colors look much more refined. And add another layer. This layer go. Doesn't matter where this layer goes. I'll put it above everything, right? And quickly here, zoom in. Maybe I'll have him say something right here. Maybe the text bubble will be right down. And then you just take this fill tool, double click, and then you can do other effects. Maybe the text bubble will go above the frame. Just slightly, and then you do some very sharp, nice shadowing for the text bubble, something like that. Just like somewhere in between. Voila, you got yourself a nice text bubble where the character is saying something. If you want it to be much more sharper and have an outline, you can. I don't want to have an outline for mine. And what else would I do? Add the text on top of it. The text will be layer above it, and then make sure that the text is dark. And I'll say happy. Happy holidays. I think that's how you spell holidays, right? Do I have my phone with me? I do not. Normally I would just ask Siri if that's how you spell it, so then it's spelled correctly and I don't look like a fool in front of you guys. But you know what? If it's spelled incorrectly, let me know in the comments later on. Or something, I don't know. Yeah, so this is so far what I got. Thank you all for joining me. I thank you all in advance because sometimes I don't want to forget that sort of stuff. So thank you all for joining me for today's video. If you did like it, leave a like. If you disliked it for any reason, leave a dislike. What day is it today? It is the 11th, so it will be 12, 11, 20. And take that signature and move it down to somewhere here. We just get it down just a tiny bit. Yeah, that's fine, right? Because sometimes what happens is like when you have a picture, sometimes your signature and everything would be normally in the corner, but it's not super noticeable by everything else. Making sure everything's fine. And I'll have the sketchbook thing on it because I did use Sketchbook Pro for it, so I'll do something like that. Click, and then by the way, I want to be in this layer. Click, and then I'm gonna duplicate it twice maybe, and then just merge it down. Now the reason why I duplicate it and merge it twice down is because the Sketchbook Pro thing is not very visible. So this time around, I do that. And the happy holidays, you can always move around. And you can always be like, yeah, it needs to be moved around. Maybe the holidays looks like it's not in the right spot. If you want to move it down, you can rotate it or something. Maybe the happy needs to be bigger. And so, yeah, put it like that. Happy holidays. And there you go. Now you got a picture of Luffy saying happy holidays. If you follow along with me, thank you all for joining me today. If you disliked it for any reason, leave a dislike. If you liked it for any reason, I don't think anybody really joined me. Please leave a like. I'll hopefully be posting this soon too, because I am recording it. It's about an hour and 5 minutes long or something like that, maybe 6 minutes long. and the recording should be coming out much more better than this footage. Thank you for joining me, and have a good one. Bye. Oh, make sure to like and subscribe, because I usually don't have a lot of people liking and subscribing. If you did like that content, that'll be it. End. Dismiss. Playbacks. Peak. Content. Total watch time. Huh. So almost stayed to all the way to the end. Dismiss. However that may happen. I swear.